Save the Semantics, episode 51. It is December 9th, 2018. My name is Myra. This is the podcast where I ramble on about things that currently interest me or bother me. Things that are currently at my attention, if you will. Right now it is Sunday. I will be going into finals week tomorrow, and I finish up on Wednesday, so it's gonna be a rough next 3 days. It's been a rough week overall, just because dead week, stressing over finals, and also I'm still sick. When I'm sick, what I like to say is that I'm getting over a sickness, but what I actually mean is that I'm still sick, and I'm not really getting over it yet. And I don't have really a timetable for when I'm gonna fully recover by any means. I'm just trying to provide myself with false optimism that I'm gonna get better, and I will. I just don't know when. It could be tomorrow that I fully recover, or it could be 5 days from now. I have no idea. It's great. It's very it's comforting to know when, it's like a little bit of it's like a mystery box kind of thing, or like or a little gift, so that you may call it, where, you try everything that you can, you drink tea, you take your vitamins, you drink a shit ton of water, you take your ibuprofen and whatnot, and and it feels like it doesn't really make that much of a difference. So you just have to rely on the natural forces to make you feel better. It's great. I love that. It doesn't provide any, stress or anxiety or anything like that. It's just sort of relying on nature to do its thing. It's great. Sarcasm aside, it has been kind of a rough week. I've just been sick, and also just sick and studying are just such a terrible combination, which is sort of why I decided to come out here and do a recording, because I felt like I needed to just get away from just all the notes that I've written. And one of my finals is cumulative, which is one of the greatest things ever. I love when it's cumulative. It's nice, it's nice and easy to understand. It's not broad at all. It's not general at all. It's not too difficult or narrowed down. I fucking hate cumulative finals. Like, it's just, I understand the need to have it because it's a overview of the entire course, but like it's just, narrow it down to like what we actually have to study, because then like I spend too much time studying on one thing and not the other, and then there's one little thing that I completely forgot. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Why didn't he just specify which ones that I need to study? It's just me just bitching about the fact that I need to study everything. It's just a lot. It's just a lot to ask for, and I can't. Just me being me, I'm going to be really bitchy right now, but me being me, I just can't retain all that information. I just can't. My brain doesn't have that capacity to retain all that information, all the formula. Well, formulas aren't actually that bad, but just all the formats for the way in which the question is constructed and how you should properly answer it and all that, the right accounts. I'm talking about accounting right now, but like, you got to provide the right accounts, the right template. What kind of problem is it? What kind of method are you going to use for this problem? What chapter is this problem for? Why do you need to solve this problem, right? Those kinds of questions, right? You need to just need to follow through, more or less, and it is what it is. I think I'm just getting a little stir crazy because I've been just in my room studying for like the last 4 days, 3-4 days, and also I'm sick. It's a great combination. You're getting really, really kind of irritated Myro right now, so you're in for a treat. I just needed to just step out and then just unload a little bit. It's not healthy to just be in this constant I was in this mood yesterday too, where I was just kind of like, ah, and then I took a walk and I felt better about it. I think walking, and studies have shown that walking, matter of fact, it reduces some form of stress. It's not. I don't know what kind of scientific studies have been done to do that, but you know what? I trust it for the most part. Just based on my own anecdotal evidence, my own studies have shown that walking reduces stress just a little bit. I think, it's not just the test itself, but I know it's me as well that I sort of put that stress on me because, like, the grade of the class overall is weighed so heavily. I'm just talking in general of all the classes that I'm taking currently. The overall grade of the class is weighed heavily on the last test, and that's just stressful too. And I put a lot of I try to put a lot of emphasis on that final and doing really well on that final. So I just try to get into a mode where I'm like, okay, I gotta get this done. It's not unique at all what I'm saying. I'm just saying how everyone else feels, who, try and try to get a good grade and whatnot. It's just, it is what it is. I get that. It's just, it doesn't make me any less pissed off, is what I wanted to say, you know. But yeah, just coming out here, just a little walk out and about, doing a bit of a recording as well. Just sort of to take my mind off of things. But I also don't want to take my mind off of things, because if I feel like if I do take my mind off of things, I forget the material that I already spent so much time trying to learn. It's just there's no easy way to go about it, is there? It's just not. I should just stop thinking about that for right now, and maybe just talk about something else, I guess. What has been going on? Music? Movies? I haven't really had a whole lot of time to really watch anything. I did recently purchase a Nintendo Switch, though, so I'm gonna keep that tucked away for now, because I know that if I get my hands on it, I'm gonna just be on that, for hours on end, and just get distracted. So that's just sort of my motivation to get through the rest of this week, and that's sort of my reward, in a sense. Winter break is going to be following my finals. Not entirely sure if I'm really going to be doing anything. I think I'm just going to try my best to just take time off, relax, maybe catch up on movies and stuff like that. Because I haven't really sat down and watched anything in a while. I mean, that's a lie, because I'm pretty sure I watched Netflix yesterday. I don't really remember. My brain's kind of fuzzy right now. But really, sat down and enjoyed a movie. It's been a minute, I also haven't been to the theaters in a while, mainly because there's nothing out there that has really interested me. I just feel it just feels pretty bare bones right now. Just the movie selection. I don't know. I feel like I've probably mentioned this earlier in another podcast this year as well, but there just hasn't really been anything that's caught my attention, which has been kind of disappointing, because I do enjoy going to the movies at times and sitting down and just sort of, but there's just nothing out there right now. I can't even think of a movie that's out right now. I'm trying to think what the hell is out right now. Yeah, I have no idea. So it's probably going to be a little while. I don't know. Maybe the movie selection's going to pick up holiday season. I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on this, but I think the new Star Wars is coming this Christmas. I'm not sure. It's either this Christmas or next Christmas. I don't know. I thought the last one wasn't that great, Last Jedi. So I'm not sure. I'm not really. I've never been a big Star Wars fan, so I'm not super excited for it by any means. I think just that I think it's just like a lot of other movie franchises is just kind of oversaturated at the moment. There's just so much Star Wars that came out, Disney, I think, has maybe learned that pushing their product just constantly is going to lead to just people being tired of it and, you know, moving away from it. And I think it was sort of a similar situation when like George Lucas brought back the prequel. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're just making the same mistake twice. I feel like there's just not a lot you can really do with Star Wars anyway. Like the whole plot revolves around the whole, just good and evil. That's just the whole thing, I don't, it doesn't really ask like very complex questions, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with that. I just think, I don't know, it's just not really something that I'm super engaged with, I guess. Yeah, there's just waiting around to see if there's anything else that's going to be coming around. Once again, trying to get back. Yeah, we'll see about what I said previously about getting back into reading. It's going to be hard. That's going to be an uphill battle. Now that I have a Switch, oh man, all that time that I said that I was going to spend reading, just gone, just evaporated right there. Once I clicked, the purchase button or whatever the hell, confirmation button on Amazon. Yeah, that should. Yeah, that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the book that I'm currently reading, which is Standing on Zanzibar. It's very interesting so far. I'm about 40 pages in, but it's a book that I feel like I have to be really engaged with for sure. It's not something that I could just sort of read casually. I think it's much more like it's like much more of like an intense movie experience. You just have to you have to sit there and really engross yourself in the story and the concepts that are presented. Even just reading the first 40 pages, it's very dense. And I think, I don't, obviously I can't really recommend it yet because I haven't finished it and I'm still have like 400 something pages remaining. But I think reading the initial, part of the book, I think it's very unconventional the way the story is presented. Because the way it's structured is that there's sort of like, I'm still kind of struggling to really understand what some of the pages are trying to say. Like I understand what's going on with the characters themselves, but there are these sort of cutaway moments, I imagine, that happen in the book where this is based on this is what I'm guessing. What happens is that the story kind of cutaways from what's going on with the characters and it goes to like a news story or like a media outlet thing, and they're reporting on like stats of the world, and things that are going on in the world, I guess, or it's like trying to sell like a product within the universe of the novel, of course. And that I think that can be that can turn off some readers because like it's a very loose kind of format that I don't think a lot of people would be like used to. I definitely wasn't used to that. I think a lot of sci-fi. Well, I don't know about a lot because I haven't read a whole lot of books in general, but some sci-fi novels have a very unconventional style, which is sort of the allure to them. Like the book that I read in my summer class, Trouble on Triton, the way that is formatted is very unconventional as well. The initial introductory or like preface is like is it if it details something that it feels like has nothing to do with like the actual story itself. Like it's talking about like mathematical equations and some other crazy shit that the author came up with. That sort of, I guess, gives like the reader a more in-depth look at the universe of the story itself, and maybe they get like an understanding of how things work. But but starting off the book with that is very like, it can be very like staggering, and it definitely was for me. I mean, the teacher recommended that we don't read it because it doesn't really have much to tie in with what we are trying to engage with the story, I guess. And the story itself is very, or like the way in which details are detailed, or like dialogue is written, is pretty unconventional as well. Just because like some of the it's very like dialogues are just paragraphs long, like, or just even pages long, and you're just like slogging through it like, man, what's the point, you know? But you can, if you sort of take notice, or pay attention to what the character is saying, you're like, okay, I'm just trying to get an understanding of what the author is trying to say through this character's dialogue and stuff like that. And that's sort of like a similar way this author, for Standing on Zanzibar, is doing it. And I think I hope that I will be able to finish it, because it's definitely a unique work of literature for sure. It will just depend on how I use my own time, I guess. That's something that I'll try to keep in mind when going into break, I guess. In terms of what else? What else did I really want to talk about? What's something I want to get off my chest before going back to the desk? I've probably talked about this already, but I've been listening to more like jazz music, as I've mentioned before. And kind of like what I like to do is that I have Apple Music, so I download a jazz album, and I play it on the go, and I just sort of keep it in the background. And if I enjoy some tracks, then I keep it. If I don't, then I just sort of delete the rest of them. Mainly because I have like limited capacity on my phone and music. I've noticed that I've just looked at like the usage for like gigabytes on my phone, and it like music takes up a little less than half of the my total like gigabytes consumption. But like I feel like that's just a lot, because each song in itself is like it's a lot. Or albums can be like 100 MB, which is quite a lot, and that takes up a lot of space. Some apps aren't even that big, so I just have to keep that in mind when I'm downloading music, because if it exceeds, then I won't be able to download more music. I'm congested right now, as you might be able to tell. I'm still recovering. That's what I like to think. No, but I think I'm just still sick, and I'm just trying to abate whatever the hell kind of symptoms that I have going on currently. When I'm in the classroom, like in my mind, like especially for finals, when everybody's in the room, like a stuffy ass room, like I just you hear like the sniffling and the coughing, and you're like, that's gross. But I know that's gonna be me, like tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and Wednesday. I just know that's gonna be me. That's gonna be my stupid face, just like coughing and sneezing and shit. And it sucks ass, You're like sick, and you have to be you have to be present because it's the final. So you're just locked in with a bunch of other people who are potentially sick, and then you don't want to get them sick, but so you're just kind of like, you're just slogging through it and shit. Oh man, yeah, it is what it is. I think like one of the it's just that one of the crappiest thing. I think like I'm gonna just like say that like I think one of the unfortunate things about being in college is that you don't have to be, you really don't have to be. And I think you could say this about like just school in general, but for the most part you have to be you have to be within presence of other students. And it's just sort of like, this just builds up some kind of hygiene issue, like people are going to be sick. There's going to be one person that doesn't wash and doesn't take care of himself, and that just sort of spreads to other people, and that's just sort of inevitable. I think that, yeah, when you're in like enclosed and in sort of narrow spaces, that just builds up more like more of a possibility or probability that people can get sick. So I think, I don't know, that's just sort of my complaints. But you could say that really about anything, you know. I think it's just like I'm just trying to find like a reason why I'm sick, you know. There's no. It's just I just have like sometimes I just have a weak ass immune system, you know. That just happens. It just sometimes it just breaks down. It's like, listen, I've been keeping you around. I've been keeping your body pretty good for maybe 10 months or so, so I'm gonna just break down at the end of the year and going into next year because you know you know I've been doing a lot of work for your body, so I'm just gonna break down right here, right now, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. You're just gonna have to adapt to that situation, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, I should probably get back to my routine, more or less. Provided I think it was a solid 20 minutes of rambling, good things to get off my chest. Hopefully, I'm gonna try to upload this as soon as I can because I feel like if I don't, the time is gonna be kind of off. I'm thinking of like, as you could probably tell by the title, it's gonna be called Dead Week again or Dead Week 2. So, and technically it's not even Dead Week because it's Sunday. It's like over, you know. It's still it's part of, you know, that week, I guess. But anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling because I'm short of breath and my mouth is getting dry. So I'm gonna need to drink some tea or some water or both and just piss out all this disgusting fluid. Anyways, this has been Save the Semantics signing off.